Welcome everybody to the first workshop of Takeoff 2021-22. Let's take a moment there, celebrate. We got here we are. For those of you who may not have had one of these before, we have a little bit of housekeeping. Please mute your microphone until you are asked to unmute. But of course, interact and use the Zoom chat to ask any questions, make any comments. I'll also be asking you to bring yourself off mute at some points today as well. But yeah, just wait until that cue. And if you drop off the call, please do just rejoin with the same link. So first workshop of Takeoff. Here we are. My business model. It's my first workshop as well. We're going to start to define your business model today. We're also going to be starting to work on your executive summary, and we're going to be starting to work on the business plan tool. And you're probably thinking, what is all of that? Well, we've got some goals for today that you will understand what a business model is, and you will understand why planning matters, and you're going to start writing in your business plan. Okay, we always have goals. So that we finish the session and we know where we start and where we're going and where we hope to be at the end of today. Okay. Today's agenda, an unbelievably action-packed agenda today. We're doing our welcome currently, and we're going to have a little bit of interactivity on Miro, which I will explain very, very shortly. And then we're going to talk through sort of business launch steps and where we are at the moment and what we're going to be doing. We have a champion presentation today from someone who has defined their business model, made their business model, and turned their idea into a business. I'm going to then be talking through the business model and the business plan and how they work together, and what actually are they. We're going to take a little 5-minute breather because, of course, everybody needs a little bit of a break, and that's fine. So we're going to have a 5-minute breather. Going to come back. I'm going to be demoing the business plan tool that we have made for you to be able to use as you take your business forward towards launch. And then we're going to spend a lot of time in a breakout with your mentor working on your business plan. So there's going to be 70 minutes split into 2 sessions where you'll actually be working on your business plan and starting to bring the business model and the business plan to life. But first, I want to introduce you to our very first Takeoff community Miro boards. Miro is an awesome interactive whiteboard that we're going to be using a lot during Takeoff, but you can also use with your mentor, with your coach as well throughout. It's an amazing tool. It's super cool. We actually have our first digital skills training, which is next Thursday, November 11th from 4 to 6 p.m. And we'll be talking all about Miro, how it works and how to use it. All right. It's a great way to collaborate with each other, but it's also, they do a free premium license that you can apply for. Ask your turn coach for a little bit more detail on that and how to apply for that. But let me show you Miro. So here we go. Flanny or Tim, my colleagues Flanny or Tim will post in the chat the link to this board, or you can scan this QR code right here. Okay. Miro is, as I said, a really cool interactive tool. But we want to start here on workshop number 1. And we'll be building on this as we go throughout the program. And if you've used Miro before, come on in, jump in. It's password protected. It's a safe space. Have a little play around and try and use it. If you haven't, that's okay. Why don't you put in the chat what actually excites us today about Takeoff? I'd love to hear. If you're coming into the Miro right now, it might take you just a few minutes to come in. But if you're not, please bring yourself off mute. Feel free to put something in the chat. I'd love to hear what actually excites you about Takeoff. I can start us off if you want, and I'm really excited to meet everyone. Quite frankly, it's great. You know, we've been in a pandemic. Meeting people doesn't happen so often anymore. but also I'm super excited to meet everybody and see where the businesses go that are in Takeoff and to be working with you all.
I'd also add, you need to have the little mouse guy at the top of the tools to be able to drag a Post-it note over, because I was using a hand before and it wasn't letting me drag the Post-its. I had to click that first.
And there is right here the little mouse on the left. But also it's okay, you know, we're playing around with it, just getting to know the tool a little bit. We'll get to know it better. But feel free to bring yourself off mute as well. If you're like, you know what, I don't want to use this tool right now, I just want to tell you what excites me about Takeoff, then please do pop in the chat or just bring yourself off mute and let me know. We've got a few little things coming in here. Launch my business. Well, you're in the right place for that. Excellent. That's great. That's great that somebody's written that. Thank you for writing that, whoever that was. Getting started, absolutely. That we're going to be getting started today. Be around interesting people, 100%. Spending time with your mentor. What else have we got here? Just being able to hear everyone's ideas and work our way through the business planning process. We got anything else coming in? Anything else in the chat? Anybody want to say something? Feel free to bring yourself off mute. Got one more coming in here.
Come on, guys, don't be shy. Get
Absolutely.
yourself off mute. What are you excited about? Okay, or you can be really shy too.
Fine.
So shy.
The first time we're using Miro in the workshop as well. So you know, it's do come to the digital skills training next Thursday, where we'll be going into detail with this. But today is not about Miro, so I will switch back now. It is an awesome tool, you guys. This is going to be our community board. So even if we're not using it right now, the point of that is just to give a little bit of an introduction to it, and to be able to you know, to really use that throughout Takeoff and throughout the program. So I'm going to reshare. We're going to come back to the presentation. Okay, so why are we all here, right? Why are we all at Takeoff? Why are we at workshop number 1? We're all here to start our journey of launching our business to the world. You've all joined Takeoff to make your MVP, your idea, a fully working business or social enterprise. Now, to get to this point where your business or your product, your service is at the level where it's really professional enough to start trading with the public, to show your business to the world, we want to take some steps along the journey to launch a business. So it's what's going to make your business real. It's what is going to be the journey to your full launch of your business, right? Right here up at the top. So what exactly are those steps, and where does your business model week today fall in with that? Well, your business model is at the bottom of this step up, but it is so important to your business's full launch. Right now, you all have an MVP, you all have an idea, but you need to explain and prove how that idea is going to work and become a successful business. Think of this as the start, okay? Think of this when an architect starts to build a building, they have a plan as to how they're going to do it. They have a blueprint as to what they want the finished product to look like. They don't just go and do it. Similarly, your business model is your blueprint for how your business is going to work. You can't just go and do it. You need to prepare and have a blueprint, have a plan for it. You want to show what are you going to be doing? Who are you going to be doing this for? And how are you going to do it? You can then start to think about how you're going to get this business and what you're going to do to the people who are going to be using it, the people who are going to be buying from you. So you have a method, you have your blueprint. You then need to find a way through a very solid digital and brand setup to get your business and show it to the people, to the customers who it is for. You can't run your business without financials, but you can't run financials without your business plan and your business model. Your financial plan, put simply, is how you're going to fund or pay for this business and how it's going to grow. And as you go along this journey, you're going to need another plan as to how you want to show this to the world, right? And how you actually want to launch your business. And as you keep going up, you're going to be finding partners and working out what finance you need to help you prepare for your business launch, to help you take your business to the public, to the world. Now, when you get to this stage, you, of course, need to be trading safely. Your business needs to be registered when you show it to the world. And as you have all of these in order and you're getting really close to the full launch at the top, you'll then start to develop a launch campaign. And a nice, simple way of thinking about this is that you want to make as much noise about your business as possible. You want to tell as many people as you can about your business. You don't want to show your business to the world in front of an empty room. You want to show it to the world in front of loads of people there. But today, these are all the steps. But today, we are looking at the business model. We're going to be looking at all of these other steps and understanding them as you go through takeoff and the journey of launching your business and trading with real people, real customers. But we're focusing on the building block, the cornerstone of your business. And that's getting the business model right. And getting it right will help a lot as we go through the journey of launching. Your business model is about taking your MVP, taking your idea and proving it to people, to funders, to customers, to yourself, that your business works and that it's not just a great idea. And there are a lot of resources that you need to go, that need to go into this. And this is why it's so powerful and so fundamental to your business and your business success. And the main difference between someone who has a nice idea and a charismatic personality, right? And somebody who has a nice idea, charismatic personality, and a business model is that the second person is ready to build a business and the first person is still dreaming about the lovely idea and they are not ready to build a business. And today, right now, I want to introduce someone with us who has come this far and they've made the jump between having a great idea to then developing a business model to make it business ready. It's my pleasure to introduce Bashar Kadir, entrepreneur, sports aficionado, new dad, and also Takeoff champion, to talk to you a little bit more today about what is a business model and to demystify what a business model actually is. Bashar is the founder of TeamYard, an organization invested to help companies transform their workplace by encouraging colleagues through team sports and activities. Bashar has over 14 years of working experience in various industries within both startups and listed global group businesses. He is a business and commercially focused, but first and foremost, entrepreneur at heart, with the vision to work on products that have community first, profit second mindset. Bashar, it is a real pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I now hand the floor over to you.
Thank you very much, Lucas, for the lovely introduction. And thanks for you guys organizing this. I know how much work you put into this. I've been through this journey. It's an incredible journey, guys. So please try to enjoy every moment of this. Let me try and share my screen now and just please let me know once you see it. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, Bashar, we can.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. So yes, as Lucas says, my name is Bashar. I'm a champion of Turn, and I was alumni of Takeoff program. And today I would like to explain about how I did implement the business model of my business TeamYard when I took it off from an idea to an actual business. When I thought about a business model, in my head, the definition was actually to create and manage the processes and resources available to take the business from the idea to a value creation stage. Whether you are a business and the goal for you to make a profit, that would work. But also, even if you are a social enterprise and you want to have a social impact, that would work. So in both areas, you still need a business model to implement and to move forward from an idea to that goal. And also what I understood throughout my experience is the business model, as you could say from the steps Lucas pointed out, actually, there are elements for this business models. They start from people and customers. And the people and customers are actually what makes the business to start with, and that's what makes your products or services, whichever you build in. From TeamYard perspective, I was building a technology, a platform basically, and the people was like, it started with myself, but also I needed people to help me do this. I can't do it all by myself, so you have to, go out and search for the right people. And let me talk to you through this one of these chat time in a little bit of more depth, basically. So with the people, basically, I had to go out and search. I had to figure out, what do I need actually? And it was actually, I needed a CTO or a technology person who understands technology and who can help me build this platform, basically. So I found the first technology partner, basically, who helped me build the MVP for the business. So always I needed to have in mind having the right person in the right seat of the business, and I needed to really appreciate what they're doing and understand how much effort they put in there. At the moment, I'm in the expansion of the team, basically. So I'm speaking to a social media person to help me. I'm speaking to also a UX and UI in the technology. These are the people who would help me understand the customers' needs in particular, and how would they interact with my platform, basically. So understanding your people it has to be a priority, because they are the ones who would help you build your business, basically. The second stage was the customers. You have to understand your customers. That's what you build in your business around, whether you provide a service, a product, or a social impact. You have to understand what the customers need. So you do lots of research about these customers, and you find out what do they need, and then test your solution with what do they need, and whether that you meet what they need or not. At TeamYard, I had to go out to speak to my colleagues, because it was around corporate and what employees need. So I had to find that category. But also at the same time, initially when I started this project, basically, I thought my customers were the employees themselves. But then later on, I realized actually the employees themselves, they are actually the users of my platform, not the customers, but the real customers were the HR, the decision makers within the corporate. So the more you research and speak to the customers, you would understand who your ultimate customers are, and who they are, who the paying customers are. These are the ones you need to be after, and understand what they really need, and try to deliver what they are after. And actually finding these two elements to start with, and find them correctly and get them right first time, would help you build and deliver your product and services the right way. You have to think about it like a puzzle, basically. If you put the right pieces in the right place, you get the beautiful picture. Otherwise, you will still have a missing pieces, basically. Or the other example I would like to give, always like IKEA. Think of IKEA, for example. If you buy a very complex wardrobe that you need to build without the catalog that IKEA provide, you kind of being lost, like, where do I start? How do I finish? And in most cases, we would fail to complete that complex wardrobe without a catalog. So the business model is the catalog for you to build that wardrobe step by step, basically, and move from the confusion stage, not too sure about actually bingo, like, knowing exactly what you want to build and what you want to deliver and what the value. And also what you can think about is who is involved in this business, from a customer to employees, and what do they do, what each do, what's the rules within the business. But at the end, you have to always think, why did you start this business? So you keep on track to finally achieve that value. So it's always, why did I start? Am I still on track? Always bring yourself back to the track on why you started this business. With quality, think about the quality you provide, your products and services, timely, and always put the customer's need in mind when you're doing this. Again, I'll touch a little bit on the steps Lucas mentioned. You need support elements to support your business model. And one of the supporting elements is the sales and marketing. Some businesses are lucky enough, they don't need to do much sales. If you are sitting in a small kiosk in a market, you would probably just rely on the people walking by to buy your food. But otherwise, if you are a platform like TeamYard, you would need to actually go out and find these companies and speak to them and explain about TeamYard and trying to convince them to buy into the business or the platform actually. So that's where I need the sales is. Marketing wise, I need, as Lucas said, I need to shout very loud about my business. I need the world to know that TeamYard exists and the solution exists to solve a problem they have. And some ways you can do this. At the very beginning, we don't have lots of investment or we don't have lots of funds. So there are some very simple ways we can start with. Social media. You don't have to be crazy expert about social media to set up your accounts. They're kind of easy to do. And hopefully with the Takeoff program, with your mentor on board and the whole of Turn team on board, they can help you, if you have any questions in setting up your social media. So hopefully, starting with social media, which is free option to start with, you can start posting, talking about the services you provide to the world. In a later stage, you can use digital marketing paid, for example, like ads and Google, etc. But at the same time, the best marketing you do is actually your customer service. If your customers are happy with you, they can bring their friends and the family. So word of mouth is one of the strongest actually marketing methods. So if you focus also on the customer service all the time, that would help you a lot actually. And it's kind of one of the cheapest marketing methods, because you have to do it part of the business, taking care of your customers, but it will pay off eventually. And the other and the last element I would like to speak about is the finance. Also at TeamYard at the moment, I'm still bootstrapping, which means I'm using the money I have. I didn't have to go and whether borrow money or raise funds for the business. I'm still surviving with the money I have for the moment. But the moment I start to grow the business and I want to grow faster, I probably would need more funds. So I will still have to go out and find extra funds for the business. But apart from this, if you are building the business, whether you are bootstrapping or you're using extra funds or external funds, you have to keep accounting in mind, recording everything you're doing within the business. That's the money coming in, money coming out. You have to think about your pricing, whether you're selling a product or a service. How do you price it? Is it a fair price? You have to keep always in mind a value for money. People these days, they are smarter than ever. They can search your competition and find cheaper products for the same product. So you have to keep pricing correct, and think about your cash flow. If you run out of cash as a business, you would probably run out of the business. So you won't have a business without cash. So you have to manage your cash wisely. Don't spend it on what does not really make sense at each stage of the business. So you have to think about what stage are you on at the moment? What cash do you have? What you have to prioritize this cash. Where do I spend it now at this stage? Do I spend it on buying, I don't know, a luxury office, or do I spend it actually on marketing or building a team around the business? So that's what we did. That's how I did it now. I mean, I'm still at a very early stage, so I still have a long way to go. But honestly, guys, with that Turn and the Takeoff program, it would be very, very hard for me to achieve what I achieved today. And the steps they kind of led me through to where I am today, with the educational content and with my mentors actually. And funnily enough, today actually I'm meeting my mentor just to have a catch up actually. So we are still in a good relationship after probably a year now after the program finished. So it is a relationship you can build, with Turn and with the team around you, and Turn is here to stay and support you throughout the journey, basically. So that's it for me. I'd like to thank everyone for your time and for listening. And please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bashar, and what a pleasure to have you with us. And yeah, what an overview of the business model, the importance of the business model. And I think, I'll pick up on a couple of things you said. Getting it right kind of first time saves a lot of time, spending the time on it, but also, it's like a puzzle. How does it all fit together? And spending that time to work out how it all fits together. But, you've introduced it there so fantastically, and thank you so much. And to hear your journey with it as well, and where you're going as well. And we'll go from here as well. We've popped your LinkedIn in the chat, so stay connected. But Bashar's hanging around for a few more minutes. If anyone has any questions at all, great opportunity here. Pop them in the chat, or please do bring yourself off mute if anyone has a question.
Again, honestly, if everyone is still shy. And it's the first day. I remember my first day, to be honest. I mean, I was probably in a similar, and probably we were a little bit smaller team. So now the team is bigger, more eyes on you. So I would probably understand your position. But yeah, here's my LinkedIn, and otherwise you can ask the Turn team for my contact information. If you guys have any questions, if you think I can help you in any way, just let me know.
Bashar, can I just ask a quick question?
Yes, sure.
It's Gary. Can you just tell us quickly about your inspiration for the business and what your insight was to actually go for it in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. As Lucas said, I'm a crazy about sports, to be honest. I play lots and lots of sports, football, tennis, and lots of team sports as well. And I had opportunities to work in big companies where, we had probably 200 people in the same floor or in the same building. It was difficult for me, firstly, because you work long hours, so you don't have time to still interact with the external world. And at the same time, I didn't have visibility of what's happening within the company, Out of the sudden, after 3 months down in the job, you will hear it in the kitchen that they do have a football team actually that you never heard of before. So what I wanted to do is actually, there are lots of people actually who play tennis and they walk past by you every single day, but you never know that. So I wanted to make that visible for the business, so everyone knows what everyone is interested in, and actually get them together to organize events and activities, and which would ultimately help the business actually for productivity. We had one session of escape room, actually, a team of us of 12. We split into 2 teams, and the way that improved the productivity in team was incredible. So I realized straight away how much that would help the business as much as they would help the employees.
Cool, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions at all? Anything in the chat? Bashar, I've got a question for you. You mentioned, you said, make sure you get it right first time, and obviously that's not always the case, I'm sure. But how did you get it right first time in relation to your customer? And did you get it right first time?
Not really. That's what I said. It will cost you time and resources if you don't get it right first time. I mean, it's very hard to get it right first time. We have to make mistakes. You can see lots of entrepreneurs who make many mistakes in their early life. And even at later stages, they can't. We all keep making mistakes all the time. No one stop making mistakes. But I mean, what I try to do, try to do cheaper mistakes. So there are some expensive mistakes and cheaper mistakes. In my example, for example, if you're trying to build a technology startup or a business, so I've seen it 100 times where people, they have a vision of a product, they go out and build it and hope the world, would like it and buy into it. But for example, what you could do slightly differently is you do lots of research about what the customer really needs, rather than you can still, pivot later on, but it would be a very costly pivot. So that's why if you do lots of research, just speak to your customers, know your customers, realize what do they need, and then try to build what you need. And you will learn through the Takeoff program that you can have different ways of building your MVP. So there are some cheaper ways, there are some more expensive ways. I don't know if that answers your question, Dorcas.
Absolutely, it definitely does. Thank you. Probably got time for one more question, if there is one.
I have one. Hey, Bashar.
Hey.
I just saw you in real life down the hall. I was like, but you were busy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming to present with us. I am curious about when you were doing research about your business and other businesses who are like you and businesses trying to do the same thing as you. How did you choose this business model that you have? Like, did you find other models that you thought were interesting? Where did you find information about different business models? And then how did you end up choosing the one that you have now?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, guys, please don't give up. This is a really important message because when it comes to competition, it's very daunting. I mean, you could think about an idea. You finish your session today, walking down the train, and you've seen an ad on the train. Oh my God, they stole my idea, and then you have to find another idea. Don't think about it this way. You can always have, differences to your idea. You can always build something unique. You can always, differentiate your business model. And that's what I did, basically. So, whatever your idea is, it would never be the first to market. It's almost certain, that always someone has thought about this idea before, or thinking about it, or doing it something similar. But what you can do is you can always differentiate yourself from the competition. If you understand your competition, then you have a better chance of actually building a unique business model. So you have to understand your competition. Don't get threatened or don't fear the competition. It's actually very, very healthy and useful to have competition because actually they can help you build a better product. Otherwise, imagine if you're building a product for the first time and there is no one did it in the past, you will make lots and lots of mistakes. While you have a competition, you have actually someone who did this before you, and you can get to learn, from what they did, and lots of lesson and learning from what they did. So yeah, use your competition to your advantage, and always research. I can't emphasize enough on research, both customers and competition.
That's amazing, Bashar. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us this evening, and actually just showing us the overview of a business model, but also slightly just trying to demystify it a little bit and say it's okay, take it head on. So everybody, please join me in saying thank you, Bashar. Wonderful to have you with us this evening. Thank you, and hopefully see you really soon. And yes, have a wonderful evening, and thank you.
Absolutely.
So much.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for today, and all the best.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly share my screen. As Bashar has shown and said, it's really the business model is what shows and proves that the idea can work. Okay, it's the kind of high level overview of how your business is going to work, how it's going to be sustainable. It's also a chapter of the wider business plan, but it's really integral part of the plan, and it's essential for the ultimate success of the business. So it proves, it's what proves that the idea is a product or service that's desired, that it adds value to customers, that it can be produced and provided to customers as well, they can get there, that it can be financed to make a profit or has funding to survive and be sustainable. As I said, it's what takes the idea to the business stage. It's what makes it ready for success. And it proves that you can sell your product or service. It shows you can make enough money or have enough revenue to be sustainable. And it shows how you're going to add value to your customer, and that your product is wanted and desired. And that it solves customer problems, customer needs, and customer desires. Now, let's think of the business model in terms of a car, okay? And here we have a car behind a curtain. The business model is the engine that drives that car forward. It's what makes the car run, right? It's one of the most important parts, if not the most important part of the car. And it's essential for the car to serve its purpose and drive. So imagine this flashy looking curtain here, and we think we're going to see an amazing car. but there's no engine, right? So without the engine, you simply have a shell or a shell of a car, right? You might have the most beautiful car in the world, or you might just have this, but behind the curtain, behind it all, you simply have a shell. You don't have the engine. You don't have what you need to make it run or serve its core purpose of driving. So as soon as you turn the key, there's no car and the car doesn't work. Okay? It might look great, but it's not going to work because it hasn't got an engine. It's not going anywhere. Now, likewise, with the business model, you simply have the idea. Now, that idea might be amazing, but without an engine, without a business model, you can't take it forward to succeed as a business. And I really, really want to reiterate this again. Now, the business model is part of the wider business plan, which we'll talk about later, but it's the engine in the plan. And without the model, you won't be able to finish or write your plan, and it won't succeed, because you need to prove that your idea, that your business works, okay? That your business is viable and that your business has an engine. So a business model has different features within it to help build that engine for the plan. But what features exactly within a business model and what needs to go into it, and what is actually, what are the different components that make up that engine? If you go out there and you read about different business models, I promise you, you will hear so many different terms thrown about. You will hear different business models. Everyone's got a different opinion about it. Okay. And we're trying to simplify it here to break it down into 4 core areas, 4 key components to help you take your idea to prove that it works. Firstly, you want to define what is your offering. And by your offering, you want to describe exactly what it is that your product and service is that you're bringing to the world, right? As well as having a pricing model as to how you are going to finance this. And what this means is, how much does it cost to make and deliver? How much is it going to cost? Does it make a profit? If you're a social enterprise, you can also say, how does this add social value as your profit? Okay. And these offerings are quite often referred to as your value proposition. So what is your value proposition? You also need to show what is your process. You need to explain exactly how you will make and deliver the product or the service. What is the process? What are the steps you're going to take? And it's really, really just as important in explaining how to get your product or your service to the customer. How is it delivered? When is the service completely fulfilled? What are the steps from the beginning all the way to the end? It's important to show in your business model what marketing and your sales strategy is going to be. People want to know how you're going to sell this product or service and what the plan is. If you're a not-for-profit organization, what is your social value and how will you sell this social value? And what is your sales approach? Where are you going to be selling this product, this service? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be at a market stall? How are you actually going to sell it? And finally, as Bashar mentioned earlier, who are the people involved in this process? Who is the team that's involved in this process? And why are they the right people for the job? How are you going to manage them within your business structure? And who are your partners? What partnerships do you have? What do they do for you? What do you do for them? How do you make it easier for you? And how do they benefit from partnering with you? Now, all of these areas are within the business model. And this is what you need to be able to show and to be able to prove. This is what you need to show that your idea works and that it's sustainable and it can grow. This is how you show that it generates profit, it generates revenue. This is how you show that your business can be sustainable and valuable. Now, you don't need to reinvent the wheel entirely because there are already successful business models out there. But what you do need to do is you need to research and you need to figure out exactly how you are going to tweak your business model and make your business model to make it yours. You need to make a really solid model to be able to start building out your plan. This model needs to be the strong foundation for the journey ahead. It's the blueprint for the journey ahead. as Bashar was talking about the puzzle, you need to link the puzzle pieces to come together. There are, of course, some models which are brand new. And these models are called disruptors. And it's worth mentioning them because some of the most successful businesses in the world are often ones that came up with a brand new business model that didn't exist. But whatever model you make or how whatever model you choose, what's really important is that you show and prove that it's sustainable, that it's valuable, that it can grow, and that you link all the puzzle pieces together and you do your research and you get this in order before going on with your business journey. So I want to give you a couple of different examples around the same business types, okay? And then just remember that not all business models are the same, right? And you need to find your own business model for your business. And there's a lot of instances where you can be selling exactly the same product, but maybe to a different audience, or maybe it's a different target market, or they want to get it in a different way. And how you sell it and how you get it to the customer, how the customer interacts with your product is different. So let's start with an example of cake, okay? I'm going to give you 3 examples of businesses that sell cake, okay? So firstly, we have a physical cake shop where a customer goes into the store, they choose their cake from a display, and then they buy the cake at a set price, okay? It's relatively straightforward, but a proven model. Think how many bakeries there are on the high street, right? It's a customer going to the shop, choosing a cake that's already there on display and getting it. But another business model might be cake in a box, right? And this might be a subscription model. And this is where perhaps a business buys cake once a week in a box for all their employees that are working in an office. And this here, the customer is the office manager who orders that cake so all the employees can enjoy it. But the office manager pays this company, this cake in a box company, once a week on a continued basis so that cake is delivered every Monday morning in a box for their employees to enjoy. Another way is that people can get cake through buying personalized cakes on the internet. And these cakes have personalized messages written on them, and then they are delivered. Now the customer gets a cake, but it's customized and then it's delivered, so they pay more. They pay extra for the customization, they pay extra for the delivery, right? Point is, all of the customers in all 3 of these are getting the same thing. They're getting cake, but they are getting it in entirely different ways, and they are paying for different things. So businesses need to choose who their target markets are and who their target customers, and perhaps it's not always getting everybody, right? Maybe it's choosing people that you want to target and building the model around that. I'll give you another example. Designer clothing. Who can afford designer clothing? I can't afford designer clothing. You know, it's for the super rich, you know, it is a lot of money. However, right, there are a lot of people, middle-class people who maybe want to be able to buy designer clothing, but can't afford it. And so businesses have needed to figure out different models about how to get that £2,000 product that only 1% of the population can afford, right? But how can they sell this to a much bigger target audience without making a loss and still making a profit? And it's through kind of clear and new and innovative business models that suit your specific target customer. In this case, it's middle-class people who want to afford designer clothing. So the first example is of the designer secondhand shops, not any old secondhand shop, but a designer secondhand shop. It carries only designer secondhand clothing, right? It brings in used designer clothing, but sells it at a much lower price because it brings it in at a lower price. So it sells it at a lower price to people who usually can't afford them, but want them. And in this case, the shop has created a business model where they've targeted people who buy designer clothing. They've targeted rich people who buy designer clothing because quite often they have a lot of clothing and they get rid of a lot of clothing as new clothes come in. But because this clothing is such excellent quality, the shop is able to buy that and resell it in still a good condition, but at a much lower price, and they sell it to their target market, which is a bigger market, middle-class people really wanting to buy affordable, but still designer clothing. The second example is a clothing rental store, right? This is where you can go and rent clothing for a fraction of the price than if you buy it. So you rent it for a period of time and then you return it. You don't own it, but you rent it and you pay for that. So maybe you need some clothes for a special occasion, right? Maybe you need a suit for a wedding or a dress for a wedding and you want a really top end one. You can rent that. Or maybe you want to have different designer clothes in your wardrobe, but you rotate them on a weekly basis and you can rent clothing, which you then return. So this model again allows designer clothing, expensive designer clothing, to get to middle-class customers at an affordable price, right? Than if they were to go straight to a designer store. And finally, there are the discounted designer department stores. Now, they have lots of stock, they have lots of money behind them, but it allows them, because they have a lot of stock, to sell at a small profit margin. But because they're selling a lot, they can sell at a massive discount so people can come and buy them. But how do they get so much stock? It's because big designer brands don't sell their clothing, right, after the season has finished. They'll have a season of 3 or 6 months. And once that season's over, they'll sell that stock. They don't want that in their shops on Oxford Street. They don't want that in their shops. They sell that stock onto department discount stores. And so the department stores buy them, and they buy a lot of it, that's leftover stock, and they can sell it at a much lower rate, but still making a bit of profit, and middle-class people can come and buy this designer clothing at an affordable price. Now here there are 3 different models, okay? But they're each focusing on the same thing, which is reaching their target market, middle-class people, and selling a top-end product at an affordable price. And these are 3 innovative ways. As I said before, it is worth, and it's all thinking about, thinking outside the box, but it's about how you can apply your business and make it work with your business model. There's not a one size fits all, okay? And you need to go and spend time and start researching and going into looking how you can apply this and make your own business model. Now, I know this is all sort of for profit that I've been giving examples of, but I want to give another example of a social enterprise. So how do social enterprises, make money? Now, there's lots of different ways, but this is one from an organization called Change Please. Change Please is a coffee shop that supports people experiencing homelessness to find accommodation, find employment, and onward opportunities, right? They do this through hiring people experiencing homelessness and training them to become baristas, and then they pay them. But how do they pay for this? How do they pay for this whole model? How can they actually get people to move on from homelessness and run their programs? They pay for it, as it says here, right? Every cup of coffee that is bought gets reinvested. Any profit gets reinvested back into the organization. Okay, so it all gets reinvested back into the organization so that they can pay in their employees and they can fund their programs around ending homelessness. Creativity is so important to any business model. And you need to think about how you can make it work and how it can be sustainable. And I'd really recommend doing some research into different not-for-profit models as well, how they make money and how they reinvest this money into their social enterprise. So we've seen the business model, but where does it all fall within the business plan, and what even is the business plan? Okay, so as I mentioned before, the business model is the engine, right? But it's also a chapter and a segment of the business plan. It shows how you're going to get there to succeed in launching and running your business. It's much more than a document though. The plan is the vision. It's the representation of your thoughts and your ideas, and it's the strategy and the execution plan to make your business a success and launch your business to the world. You need careful planning to be able to take this business forward. The model itself is not enough. You also need to have a very well thought out business plan, okay, to be able to take this forward and prove that your idea works as a business. We've made a business plan tool, which I will show you later, and you can use that. But the business plan is a written document that contains the business goals and the methods on how you will reach these goals and how long it's going to take to reach them. The business plan is how you're going to execute your business idea and make it work. It's what shows everybody that you can make this work. The business plan helps you be prepared and helps you to take responsibility to look ahead, to be efficient and to avoid any uncertainty or unseen costs. It's what you will show to your customers, to your funders, to your partners, to your team, and to you. You need to know your plan and your business inside out. You need to be able to explain each area of it. If you can't, then chances are you won't be able to execute the plan. But if you have a good plan, people will be confident in you. They will trust you, and ultimately they will choose you. Now, we've made a business plan tool for you to use, specifically from Turn, and it's got lots of different elements, and these are the elements that are within a business plan. There's the executive summary, and simply summarizes the entire plan. Not everybody will have time to read the entire business plan, right, that they receive, and they'll use this summary to make a quick decision on whether they need to read all the fine details or not. There's the vision and opportunity, and this describes your overall objective and aims as a business, or what you want to achieve and how you will achieve it. It's the kind of thing you have, on the wall in the office to remind you all the time why you're actually doing this, right? There was a question for Bashar. Why did you decide to do this? What was your passion for it? That's it. Okay. Remember that as well. And what do you offer? You have to show what product or service you are actually offering in your business. You need to know your customers and your market. You need to show that you know your competitors, you know who they are, and you show that you do it better than them and that you're different to them. And you need to know who your customers are and your target market. Who is it that's your end user and your paying customer? You need your business model. We've been talking about it so far, but the model needs to be in there, right? To prove your idea works and is sustainable. What's the opportunity? What is that you want to achieve in the first year? And what are your goals? What's the projected growth of the business? This is your pricing model, your financial forecast, your financial plan. What are you going to spend and sell each month, right? What are the costs to start the business? Your team and your supporters. Who is it that makes up this team? What's their experience and who is it that supports you? Now, all of these elements make up the Turn business plan tool, and it's in your folder, which I will show you later. And all of this will help you prepare to launch your business. Now, who needs to see your business plan? You need to show to your team how your business works and bring them on that journey so that they can do more together. You need to be able to show funders how you invest, how your business is going to grow and how they can be successful and how it's going to be successful so they can invest in you. You need to be able to show your partners the direction you're going in, how you're going to work with them and where they come in. But in the end, what's most important is that you know your plan, that you have the clarity and that you know what is needed and what you're going to do next. So why does planning matter so much? And why do you actually need a plan? Well, you need a plan because your business plan shows the world that you are in control. It makes people trust you. You are the pioneer and the leader of this expedition that is your business launch. People are behind you. They believe in you. But now they need to know where they're going. People are not going to blindly follow you. Yes, they believe in you. But you need to be well prepared to show them the way that you are going to go. And crucially, if you don't know where you're going, then how are you going to be able to show other people where you're going? If the business is a trek, if you're leading people up a mountain, then the plan are the tools and the equipment to make sure that you get up the mountain safely. Your plan is going to be what makes your expedition up the mountain successful and takes everyone on that expedition with you and keeps them safe, right? And gets them up the mountain too. These people here trust you, and it's up to you to show them the way and take them up that mountain safe. You also need a map, your business model, to know which way you're going to go up the mountain. Because if you don't know where you're going, then how can you prepare for the expedition? So you may think, you know, you're already really prepared for this business and for this trek, but being prepared takes a lot of careful planning. And being carefully planned is ultimately setting you and your business up for success. The more you invest in making your business plan brilliant, the better the business will succeed. And getting this right, getting the planning right, will take everyone on this journey, take everyone up the mountain safely. Planning makes a huge difference to yourself and those around you. You need to have a solid, concrete plan to be able to succeed in leading people ahead. You want your business to thrive. You want people interacting with it, you know, to be taken in the right direction, to know which way they're going. Planning makes a difference to your customers. Planning makes a difference to your team. Planning makes a difference to your partners and your funders. And planning makes a difference to you. Now, the business plan is not the only tool that you will need to be able to launch your business, but it can be an amazing resource to help you interact and use other tools that you need to start your business. It can be a library and a resource to take from, you know, things that you've already written. You can use the business plan to help you shape your roadmap and what areas you need to focus on. When you're building your financial plan, how are you going to pay for your business and make it sustainable? Use your business plan to help you shape that. When you need a pitch deck or a pitch slide to present your idea to potential partners, funders, customers, draw on elements of the plan to show in your pitch deck. And when you start looking for branding, for websites, when you're doing your campaign, when you're building all of these things towards your launch, draw on your business plan to be able to help you in different areas of business development. Use it as a library, use it as a resource. Now, of course, you won't have everything ready right now for your business launch, but that's why we're here in Takeoff today. That's why you're working with your launch mentor, to help you achieve business success. So use your roadmap, you know, in your bespoke mentoring sessions, and really see where it is that you need to focus on business-wise. What are your deadlines? What do you want to work to? What are your focus areas right now that you need to do to complement your business plan and other areas of business growth? And set yourself very clear to-dos to be able to reach these business goals in your roadmap. This is your mountain. We've spoken about the expedition. We've spoken about the journey. The business models where we're starting today, right? And without that, you won't be able to go up. But you also need to plan very carefully so that you can take every step ahead to launching your full public launch to the world, okay? We're going to take a 5-minute break here. We've built some business plan tools for you, but we're going to take a 5-minute breather here. So go and get a cup of tea, go and get a glass of water. Adele, maybe you've got some tunes at all. I'm aware of time, and if you've got any questions, I'm going to stay on right now. So please also do ask or pop some in the chat. So guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good break. Thank you for the tunes. I hope you got a glass of water and are feeling comfortable, because we are going to dive straight back in. So I've been talking a lot about business models, business plans, you know, being organized going forward. And we have built a tool here at Turn, which is in everybody's Google Drive, business plan template. And it's got every element that I was talking about in there that you can go and fill out and use, right? And really, we cannot stress enough that having a good plan will lead towards business success, okay? And really ironing that out. And you need to know your plan, and other people need to know your plan. So shortly we're going to go in and have a look, but I'm just going to demo it quickly, okay? We have an example plan that you can look at, and I just want to show you, and there's a link to it here, but I just want to show you what that example plan looks like. Am I still sharing the example plan now?
Yes.
So here we are with Life on the Edge Expeditions, our business plan. You've got the website here. They don't have a LinkedIn yet, so they should probably get a LinkedIn pretty soon. They do have an Instagram though, so they obviously, use Instagram, and they've got their email, and could probably do with a little phone number there as well. But this is their business plan.
Sorry, Lucas, I'm just going to break in to say they do have a LinkedIn and a phone number. We just haven't bothered to fill in every single part of this example because it's a lot.
Fair. Fair. It is a lot, and you'll see. I'm only going to talk through the first bit. You guys can read through this. Right here, they have an executive summary, which is something we'll be working on in the breakouts today. What's their vision? To help people reach their #view goals and live their absolute best life through our legendary, fun, and super safe mountain tours, right? That's their vision. I know straight away what their vision is. And about us, who are they? I want to know who they are. Life on the Edge LLC is a mountain tour company founded in 2020 by snowboarding champion Shannon Slow at Mont Blanc, the tallest mountain in the Alps. Life on the Edge creates super convenient, fun, social experiences, trekking the mountain for thrill seekers and summit expeditions for customers looking to climb Mont Blanc as a bucket list experience. Life on the Edge provides full sporting and survival gear and well-staffed guided tours so that their adventurers stay safe and prepared for everything the snowy wild has in store for them. What sets Life on the Edge apart from all other tour companies are the social experiences we curate, such as mountainside dance party breaks and post-trek celebrations. Life on the Edge works hard and plays hard to help clients experience their wildest mountaineering dreams safely with respect to the beautiful natural environment. I want to go on a tour right now. That sounds amazing. Okay, these guys sound incredible. I don't know about you, but I want to go on a tour right now. They are taking me, their customer, on that journey. They also take their funders and partners on that journey. They take their team on that journey, but they know who they are as well. This is just an example, right, to show you how to start writing your vision and the about us. And there's a lot more through here, okay? I'm not going to go through it all now. You can read it. There's a link out. But I will go through the template, and you can start to fill this out. And what's important is you might not have everything ready now. That's okay. You should make a start. Make a start on areas that you do know. Make a start on areas that you're confident with and build from there, okay? So don't be like, I need everything ready before I can start. No, you should start now. A lot of you might actually know your vision already because you're doing it. You might know the why, what your vision is. You might not. It's okay. The most important thing is to go and start. So start by, filling out your name, your business name, website, LinkedIn, Instagram, email, phone, if you've got it. Come down, we've got the executive summary. We're going to be working on this today. We're not going to be doing everything today. I'll talk you through it, but we're working on the executive summary, and there's a overview here that you can see. There's also these comments along the side, which are really helpful in explaining things a little bit further. And you can click tick if you don't need them anymore, okay? Just that tick will take it away. As we go down, we've got product and, what your offering is. What's your product, your service, right? What are they? Remember we can start small. It's our MVP that we're building out. We're not going straight to a huge restaurant instantly. So what are your products? What are your services? What you're offering? Who are your customers? I don't know why that's going down so quickly. Apologies. But who are your customers? And okay, this is my mouse having a terrible time. Who are your customers and who's your market? What's your market, right? So who are your competitors? Who are your customers? What do your customers need? Who are your competition? Why are you better than them, right? What do they do? What do you do better? Remember what Bashar was talking about earlier about how important knowing your customers are, because ultimately they're the ones buying your product or your service, and also knowing your competition, what makes you different. Oh, hello. There's a business model in here. There certainly is a business model in here, right? Everything we're talking about in the first half of the presentation, the business model is here. Now, you don't need to be able to do it all today, but you do need to start being able to prove that this works and find this business model that works. So your offerings, I've gone through all of this earlier, your process, your marketing, Your people, who are they? Okay, so start working on the business model within the business plan. The opportunity, you know, what your milestones, your roadmap comes into this as well. What's your financial plan? You might not know your financials yet, that's okay, but you will, and you'll start putting them into the business plan. What's your budget? What are you starting with? Bashar said he's starting real small and then he's growing. You know, he's bootstrapping was the term he used. What's your startup budget? And who's your team? We want to know you. I don't want to connect with just a business that's a web page. I want to connect with people. I want to know people. I want to know who it is that's running a business. Okay. And who's supporting you? What do they say about you? Right? Get some feedback. Get some evidence of people saying you're awesome. Yeah. So it's not just you saying it. All right. So that's the business plan tool in a very quick overview. Go and have a look at it. But right now we are going to dive in headfirst into the business model. Okay. So it's tool time for half an hour, a one-to-one breakout with your mentor. And in this tool time, in the business model part of the business plan, okay, so there's the business model chapter. Discuss your business model and summarize it in your business plan. Start working on it. It's okay if you don't have everything, but start working on it. What are your products, right? What are you offering? What's your process? How do you get it there? How do you get it to customers? How do you finance it? Start having these conversations and start ironing this out in the business model. Everyone's coming back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had a good session. We've only brought you back for just to come up for air, really, and just to get you to start thinking about the executive summary as well. So we've got another 25-minute breakout now, but start thinking about the executive summary and maybe try drafting your executive summary in your business plan. That's up the top with the vision. You've been working on the business model, but maybe try drafting your executive summary. Has anyone got any questions at all before we go out? No? Cool. Well, we'll break out for 25 minutes, crack on with the executive summary. Good luck and enjoy. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. First tool time, first breakouts of Takeoff 2021. Give you a little flavor of what's to come up in future workshops. That is going to be the format where you will be breaking out with mentors and entrepreneurs to do more of this sort of stuff, to do more tool time, to do more building of the business. Okay, but it doesn't just happen in the workshop. You also need to meet for your bespoke mentoring sessions, the one-to-ones outside of the workshop. Build on what you were doing today in those. Also in the build weeks, which is coming up next week, you work on those as well with your coach, but also your mentor as well. So guys, keep working on this. This is just the starting block, but we go away, but this is sort of setting the scene for future sessions as well. Okay, but that's it for today. But just before we rush off, of course, we've got our Miro board, and maybe everybody's sort of livened up a little bit. So I don't know if you want to go all the way back in the chat and reopen Miro, or can you see my Miro this time? Okay, well, that's good. I've done much better than the first time round. But first of all, guys, what did you learn today? Did you learn anything? I hope so. But what did you learn today? A little GIF here. We love GIFs at Turn, if you haven't realized. But what did you learn today? And also, please scan this QR code or go bit.ly/turn feedback and tell us what you thought, because we want to know. That's how we get better. We love feedback. Was it great? Was it not so great? Was it too much? Tell us what you thought. We want to hear and get that feedback. And please do, everybody, fill out that feedback. Would be amazing. But I'd love to hear what you learned today. So take some of these down here and start writing on them, or shout out and I can fill in for you. Someone want to tell me what they learned, or take one of the post-its down here. If you click me, by the way, if you click this, you come straight to me. It's a cool little thing. or I can actually relocate everybody to me. Can I? Yes. bring it.
Lucas, maybe you can scroll in a bit on the Miro because I don't think anybody can read the post-its.
Okay, so here we've got the feedback. Has everyone got the feedback link? Please do give us feedback. And up here we've got, I learned about an amazing, innovative solution to learn English. Brilliant. We've got another one over here. Time restriction creates focus. Okay, that's good to know. Right, that's good to know. Like that a lot. Please pop them on here. Has anybody else, feel free to take yourself off mute if you're a bit like, what is Miro and what's going on? Fair enough. Feel free to take yourself off mute and say what you learn, and I can type for you. So does someone want to tell me? Anybody want to shout out and say what they learned today?
Yes, I will start.
Go on, Mariam.
So I learned today how to list a pricing for my service or project.
So how to price your service and product, yeah?
Yeah, which I don't have any idea about.
Fantastic. Well, why is that not gone? I need to send that to the back. Sorry. Oh, they can't go on there. That's annoying. There they all are. There's more. We've got more. Sorry. That's brilliant. There we go. Awesome. Exactly. The pricing your product and the importance of pricing your product.
Also marketing. So what type of marketing? So if there's social media, word of mouth, on this kind of things.
And Mariam, the awesome thing is that we're going to dive so much more deeply into those topics in our access to finance and financial planning workshops. We'll talk about pricing and our financial plans. And then later on in the new year, we'll be talking about marketing. And we also even have a digital skills course just about social media if you want to use social media to market your product. So that's all coming up next.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Looking forward.
3 weeks, actually. I think 3 weeks on Thursday, our social media one, if off the top of my head is correct. Very exciting. What kind of marketing? Absolutely. And that's going to be really key. Really, really key. Storytelling is key. It certainly is. And can be the backbone of how you get your customers to engage with your business as well. Oh, this is great. We've got some action going on here. Anybody else want to shout out and let me know? Don't worry, Miro's coming next week, digital skills as well. So this will be so easy in a couple of weeks' time. Anyone else want to shout something out? Let me know what you learned today.
Of course, how to write the summary and the vision for your business.
How to write a summary. Let's go an exec summary. I can't speak. I've spoken too much recently. Summary and the vision for the business. Awesome. Absolutely. That's brilliant. Well, that's great because that was one of the big things to learn today. Because if you remember our goals, we said we were going to be doing that. So you did. Batul, thank you so much. It means that I've actually managed to do my job correctly. So thank you. Anyone else? Hunger creates focus. It does. And on that note, hunger for business or hunger for it's 7:45 in the evening. Either way, I will say I feel that that's a great way to end. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight, joining me tonight for workshop number 1. We're 2 minutes over, 7:47. Have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to scan this QR code. We'll be in touch very soon. Thank you. Good night. Good luck. And welcome to the rest of Takeoff.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.
Have a great evening all. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Thanks very much. Cheerio. Bye.
Bye.
Many
Thank you.
thanks.
Everyone, bye-bye.